It's 2 a.m. in the gleaming towers of Vanguard Tech, the kind of place where dreams are coded into reality and billions hang in the balance. Down in the sub-basement, a single dad named Ethan Harper is on his knees, not praying, but mopping up a spill from the executive break room. His calloused hands grip the handle like it's the only thing keeping him grounded. Upstairs, the CEO is pacing, her empire on the brink of collapse. But what if I told you that this unassuming janitor, the guy everyone overlooks, is about to rewrite the rules of innovation, and shatter everything she thought she knew? If you're already hooked, smash that like button and subscribe right now, because this is the kind of story that reminds us why we chase our dreams, no matter how impossible they seem. Stick around till the end for a message that'll stay with you long after the credits roll. Ethan Harper had always been the quiet type, the sort of man who blended into the background like the shadows he chased away with his broom. At 38, he was a widower raising his 8-year-old daughter, Lily, in a cramped 2-bedroom apartment on the outskirts of the city. His wife, Sarah, had been his everything, a fiery software engineer who'd believed in him when no one else did. But 5 years ago, a drunk driver had stolen her away in a split second, leaving Ethan with a heart full of holes and a mountain of medical bills that still loomed like storm clouds. He'd once been a rising star in AI development, fresh out of grad school with patents that turned heads at Silicon Valley conferences. But after Sarah's death, the corporate world had felt like a betrayal. The endless meetings, the profit over people ethos, it all soured him. So he walked away, trading his lab coat for a janitor's uniform at Vanguard Tech, the very company that had once courted him. It was steady work, humble pay, and it let him be home for Lily after school. "Daddy's the king of clean," he'd joke to her, ruffling her curly hair as they shared peanut butter sandwiches on the fire escape. But Ethan harbored a secret that burned brighter than any fluorescent bulb in the building. In the dead of night, after tucking Lily into bed and kissing her forehead, he'd slip back to Vanguard's basement, a forgotten storage room he'd claimed as his own. There, amid the dust and discarded servers, he'd built something extraordinary. It started as a way to cope with his grief, an AI system called Echo, designed to predict and prevent medical crises before they happened. Drawing from Sarah's old research on neural networks, Ethan had poured his soul into it. Using scavenged parts from the company's trash bins and late-night hacks into their mainframes, Echo wasn't just smart, it was revolutionary. It could analyze patient data in real time, flag diseases years in advance, and even suggest personalized treatments that slashed costs by 70%. For Lily, whose rare autoimmune disorder had flared up again, Echo was more than code. It was hope. The challenges piled on like the endless floors Ethan had to scrub. Lily's condition worsened that winter. Fevers that wouldn't break, nights spent in the ER where doctors shrugged and prescribed pills that barely helped. The insurance from his janitor gig covered the basics, but the experimental therapies? They were a pipe dream. Ethan worked double shifts, his back aching from hauling trash carts up service elevators, his eyes burning from the all-nighters coding in secret. "Why don't you just tell them, Dad?" Lily would ask, her voice small as she watched him solder circuits at the kitchen table. "You're the smartest person I know." But Ethan couldn't. The memory of his old life haunted him, the way investors had twisted his ideas into weapons of mass profit, how they'd sidelined him when he pushed for ethical AI. "The world's not ready for people like us, kiddo," he'd whisper, pulling her close. "We keep our light hidden until it's safe." Deep down, he feared the system would swallow him whole again, leaving Lily fatherless in more ways than one. Vanguard Tech was a behemoth, helmed by Sophia Lang, a 42-year-old CEO who'd clawed her way from a single mom's trailer park to the cover of Forbes. She was brilliant, cutthroat, and utterly alone at the top. Her empire spanned AI assistants that powered half the world's apps, but lately, it was crumbling. Their flagship product, Nexus, was hemorrhaging users to flashier competitors. Board meetings dragged into the wee hours, filled with frantic pitches and finger-pointing. "We need a breakthrough," Sophia would snap, her designer heels clicking like gunfire across the marble floors. Something that changes the game, or we're done. Little did she know, the breakthrough was mopping her halls. It started small. One rainy Tuesday, the IT department was in chaos over a glitch in Nexus's predictive algorithms. Servers overheated, data streams froze. Ethan, emptying bins in the server room, overheard the engineers cursing. That night, after clocking out, he anonymously emailed a fix from a burner account, simple code tweaks that stabilized the system overnight. The team hailed it as a miracle from an internal whistleblower. Sophia, poring over the logs, felt a spark of intrigue. "Find out who did this," she ordered. Weeks blurred into months of quiet heroism. Ethan fixed what others broke, always in the shadows. A faulty elevator sensor? Rewired in under an hour. A lagging quantum simulation? Optimized before dawn. His genius secret wasn't flashy inventions or viral demos, it was the relentless, invisible genius of a man who loved his daughter enough to keep fighting. But the toll mounted. Lily's latest flare-up landed her in the hospital for a week. Ethan sat by her bed, reading her favorite stories about inventors who changed the world, all while his savings dwindled to nothing. "I can't lose you too," he murmured one night, tears streaking his stubbled cheeks as machines beeped around them. The turning point came on a stormy Friday. Sophia was burning the midnight oil, alone in her penthouse office, staring at red ink on quarterly reports. Desperate, she descended to the basement to clear her head, something she hadn't done in years. The air was thick with the scent of bleach and old electronics. That's when she heard it, a faint hum from the janitor's storage closet. Curiosity piqued, she pushed the door open. There he was, Ethan, sleeves rolled up, surrounded by glowing screens. Holographic displays flickered with Echo's interface, patient charts, predictive models, breakthroughs that made Vanguard's tech look like child's play. A prototype vial of simulated medicine sat on the workbench, labeled with Lily's name. Sophia froze, her empire's future unfolding before her like a revelation. "Who are you?" she demanded, her voice echoing off the concrete walls. Ethan spun around, his face paling under the harsh light. "Just the janitor, ma'am. Ethan Harper. I clean up after you." But Sophia wasn't buying it. She cross-referenced the code on her tablet, matches to the anonymous fixes, the server optimizations. "This isn't cleaning. This could save lives. Why hide it?" The story poured out then, raw and unfiltered. Ethan told her about Sarah, the crash, the betrayal of the boardrooms that had crushed his spirit. About Lily's illness, the nights he'd coded through sobs because hope was all he had left. "I didn't want the world to take this from me too," he said, his voice cracking. "Not when my little girl needs it more than any CEO." Sophia listened, her iron facade cracking for the first time in years. She saw herself in him, the single parent grinding against impossible odds. But more than that, she saw the genius. Echo wasn't just an AI, it was the missing piece for Vanguard's revival. A partnership that could dominate healthcare AI, turning profits into purpose. The challenges that followed tested them both. Ethan resisted at first, terrified of the spotlight. "I've seen what money does to dreams," he said during their first late-night strategy session. Sophia pushed back, sharing her own scars, the foster homes, the deals she'd made with devils to build her throne. "Genius like yours doesn't stay hidden forever," she countered. "Let me prove the empire can change." Together, they navigated the storm. Ethan revealed Echo to the board, but only after Sophia restructured contracts to prioritize ethics, no data mining, full transparency. Investors balked, but the demos were undeniable. Lily's treatment? Funded immediately, with Echo guiding her doctors to a breakthrough remission in weeks. The little girl, cheeks rosy for the first time in months, hugged her dad in the hospital lobby. "You did it, Daddy. You saved us." Word spread like wildfire. Vanguard's stock soared, but more importantly, the company transformed. Sophia, once the untouchable queen, became a mentor, championing overlooked talent from the mailroom to the C-suite. Ethan stepped into the role of Chief Innovation Officer, his janitor's badge now a symbol of humility in the boardroom. He and Lily moved into a sunlit home with a backyard big enough for stargazing, just like Sarah had dreamed. But the real shake to Sophia's empire wasn't the tech, it was the heart. In Ethan, she found a partner who reminded her why she'd started, to build something that mattered. Their collaboration birthed initiatives that gave free AI diagnostics to underprivileged clinics worldwide. "We don't just code the future," Sophia would say in interviews. "We clean up the past and make room for everyone." As the months turned to years, Ethan watched Lily thrive, riding bikes, acing science fairs, her laughter filling rooms once silent with worry. He never forgot the broom that had been his anchor, or the secret that had nearly broken him. The greatest inventions, he'd tell aspiring engineers at Vanguard's new mentorship program, aren't born in labs. They're forged in kitchens at midnight, by parents who refuse to quit. And Sophia? Her empire didn't just shake, it evolved. Stronger, kinder, unbreakable. Because sometimes, the janitor in the corner holds the key to the kingdom. Friends, if Ethan's story lit a fire in you, the kind that makes you believe in second chances and hidden strengths, then do me a favor. Hit that like button to spread the inspiration, and subscribe to the channel so we can keep uncovering these real-life heroes together. Drop a comment, what's your hidden genius? Maybe it's time to let it shine. Remember, no matter where you start, your story could be the one that changes everything. Thanks for watching, see you in the next one.